Hello, hello, hello. Everybody, Django first. Congratulations. It's too bad it doesn't keep track of, well, actually it might keep track of who redeemed these, but I don't have an easy way of looking at it and figuring out who got each thing. I need to make my bot do that. And I don't care that much. But it would be kind of interesting to see who's mostly here and claims it first. Hey, Kevin. All right, well, today's only going to be a morning stream. I guess let's write out the today command. Also, I'm a little toasty right now. Adam is only going to stream in the morning today, and there won't be a stream tomorrow. The goal for today is to get started on all of the treasure chest stuff that he designed yesterday. Well, I should say finished designing yesterday. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's write some notes. Oh yeah, I also got to answer my phone if it rings. I'm expecting a call, but I don't know when. So I might need to take a tiny break for that. But it might not happen. The rest of this stuff is fine. Yeah, we have to do this. Stream stuff. Keep checking this page to see if my playtest was accepted. Oh yeah. Has this been accepted? I think I get emailed when this happens. So I'm pretty certain this is not accepted yet. Because I checked my email. No, yeah, it just says your app build is in review queue. Submitted on July 1st. Yeah. It says 3 to 5 days. It's been 2 days. I expect it to be, well, actually, they might not be working tomorrow. But yeah, I expect it to be like tomorrow or the next day normally. They're usually pretty fast. But that's just for the playtest version. So PR, new launch, start tackling this. Okay, yeah, make a new branch. So we got to do this first. There's a tiny bug that is affecting players right now. 2 bugs actually. So yeah, we're gonna merge both of these things and then push a new version. Hey Matt. But I'm feeling pretty good. I hope everyone else is feeling good. Does this button still work? Hey Endorn, thanks for the resub. How you doing? Oh, what is all this stuff? Oh yeah, I added in keys. Maybe we should stash this. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna stash this. Get stash. So make a new branch and then stash pop. Okay, GHPR, check out that. Hungry, making food. What kind of food? I am feeling fine right now. Actually, you know what? Hang on one second. Let me turn this off really fast. I want to clean my glasses, which I meant to do. There's like 30 seconds when I start the stream. I can do whatever I want because no one can see me. And I usually clean my glasses during that time, and I just didn't today. Just some basic meat, veggies, and potatoes. Nice, nice, nice. How's everything going in the rest of your life, Endor? What am I doing? Oh yeah, I was gonna launch this. This is the locale thing though. I don't think there's any point in launching this. I think I should just look at the code. We've seen some people get their game display Spanish strings because they had their system language set to that, which is unexpected. Instead, we now figure out on first launch whether translation is even enabled. We'll also figure out whether the user's locale is supported or has an alias locale if localization is enabled. Something this doesn't address is people who've already launched a game in Spanish would keep it in that language. Should we add extra code to correct that situation? No, I don't think this is worth it. No, I don't think this is worth it. Comment. May want to keep only one of these mechanisms. Godot docs do explicitly say that the locale codes do begin with language. So maybe we should just use that and forget about locale code aliases. And not sure if this log is useful. Feel free to remove it. Okay, let's take a look. Warm, temp is getting better. Not the 35 to 40 that Rami shared. Yeah, man, I know that there are different times when I've been streaming where people have generally complained about the heat, and it's never been this concerted. And I wonder, is this like how it's going to be from now on? And Europe doesn't even have it the worst. Not that I'm saying you can't complain, but like weather in India. Okay, well, right now it's nighttime. Good thing to realize. Yeah, it's apparently 81 in India right now, but what about, actually the highs aren't that bad. I know India is not one place. this is figuring out it for Mumbai, which also isn't that bad now that I see it. It's in the 80s, but it's probably like super rainy. Spain is pretty screwed right now. Weather in Spain. What does it pick? Madrid. Okay. Whoa. 98. Imagine there's a little fireball right here. Oh my goodness. And this isn't going to let up for a while. 97, 95, 95, 97, 96, 97, 100, 100. Oh my God. It's, yeah, wow. This is bad. Is it because there's a fire or something? Or because I was going to say when there are fires here, I guess it doesn't cause the weather to be warm, but it causes the air quality index to drop. India gets so hot, I can only visit in winter. Yeah, I've only been twice, and it's been in winter, and it was still too hot for me. Yeah. All right, figure out initial locale. Let's go figure out what this is doing. So this is called from here. Figure out first time settings. Sounds reasonable. Okay. And what does the function do exactly? Get locale. This returns a string. I'm kind of surprised this doesn't return an enumeration. I know this is a Godot API, but yeah. Oh, and then we get from code. I see. And is this our thing? It is our thing. Okay. Translation is enabled. Set it to default, which is English. I wonder if we should just say that this is locale-data.english or something, but it doesn't. That's a minor thing. Locale is not supported yet. Set it to the default. Otherwise, say using this. So I think what I want to do here is move this log so this only happens when it's not the default. If locale data is not locale data.default, then put this up here. Oh my God, what is wrong with my typing? Highest I've seen is 115, but it gets higher. Yeah, I don't know. I think when it's 80 or so outside, that it's not so bad inside at least. But yeah, higher than 80 and it gets to be pretty bad. And also stepping outside in 80s is not fun unless there's shade. And someone throwing ice cubes at me. All right, so this is how we should use this new thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to temporarily change this to be equals equals. And that way we'll see the log print out and just see what this looks like. I'm guessing it's going to say like using English ENUS as locale. Poetril, thanks for the resub. Happy 15 months. Oh, this is only for first time settings, so this actually won't do anything. All right, well, let's just call this anyway. This is in load. Okay, so I'll put this here. Yeah, thank you both, Endorn and Poetril. Very nice of you both to resub, to believe in the channel. All right, so I need to click load. The key 177 was not present in the dictionary. Oh, I'm trying to load. Okay, whoops. I'm trying to load a save file that has a key, like a literal key for treasure chests. This should fix it. Where does it say? There it is, using English EN as locale. Why did that only print once? Oh, because we only load the local settings once. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so let's go undo everything I did except for the logging change, which I think is probably a good change to keep. So if we're not using the default, then we say what we're using. And that way, if we need any extra logging data, I guess we can find it. Even then, I kind of wonder. No, that might be helpful. Yeah, maybe we find out that someone's... Yeah, that's probably helpful. Let's keep it. At least for now, this is the unusual path. I don't know what the most popular language for this game is going to be. It might not be English. And I've had people reach out to me about different East Asian publishing. So the most recent person said that idle games might be popular in China, but this year there aren't that many that are slated for launch. Now, granted, I don't know how much is this person just saying this to me because they're trying to get me to sign with them. But those markets are probably harder to penetrate, especially because I don't know what the main game distribution is for China, for example. And I think like NetEase controls most of what they do. There is access to Steam, but I don't know if you need to like bypass the Great Firewall. All right, so move logging call. So yeah, this looks good. And then the aliases, do we need that? I want to keep only one of these mechanisms. They begin with language underscore. Yeah, so this one I don't know as much about, but I generally agree if the docs say that we're only going to get back language underscore, then the aliases probably won't matter. But I don't know why the aliases were added in the first place. Kevin, what do you think? I'd like you to just make a call on this. Because I need to look through this and figure out like what kind of strings would we get and what are we sort of working around. And yeah, maybe someday I look into this deeper, but I don't want that day to be today. Chinese people buy through Steam, not sure how. They're by far the largest market after the US in general for many games, and in my experience. Yeah, I like bunnies. Yeah, and that's one of the things I wonder about. So let's say I got a fluent translator. The game was flawless from the translation perspective, any geopolitical perspective that you have. But all I do is I launch it on Steam. Like, I'm guessing that would be insufficient. I probably need to find Chinese influencers, and I'm guessing that part is hard. But assuming I could do that too, is there any reason to even get a publisher? Maybe I'm making it sound simpler than it is, but yeah, I wasn't sure which way would be best, explicitly allowing aliases or grouping by languages naively. I think for now I'd keep the latter. Okay. All right. So then basically keep the code that we have. I think that's fine. Also, if you're curious, technically ladder is the correct thing to say for these situations. When you're talking about two things, you want the second one. I am not trying to be a jerk. Okay, so let's go merge this. And I'm gonna copy what Kevin said here. I moved this into an if statement. Comment and resolve. And then for this one, letting Kevin answer this. Thanks for bringing this up, Kevin. And thanks for answering it. There. We're leaving this as is. All right. So context. This happened, well, I guess it doesn't really matter, and it's kind of already there. But I was going to say it happened to, I think, 2 people streaming. One person was on Twitch and one person was on YouTube. And the person on Twitch didn't get a lot of views, but the person on YouTube got several thousand. And yeah, I guess it does look a little bit unprofessional, but yeah, thanks for doing this. I don't have anything more to that to add here, I think. It's done well. Okay, that one's finished. The next PR. I need that typo. Okay, gotcha. We were adding it at the top of the UI scene, which meant it was below everything else. This also affected the Guildmaster battle nudge, but that would have never been a problem since it doesn't show. Yeah. Create a node where you can add these should be below most things node. That is only above the battles and the floating text. Sounds good to me. And these should appear below most UI elements. Top of node scene, add at top of scene tree. For any nodes that should not show on top of most UI elements. This might change. Well, I guess Kevin said it won't change anything, but let's go pull this anyway. Agree technic. I think doing a search where you go from ENXX to EN and then apply ENYY variant you have is pretty typical. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and the other thing too is I don't think these are the end of the world. If let's say you're on ENUS and you get ENGB, it's like you'd see something like color turn into color. But maybe there's something that would matter more. Maybe like Portuguese, difference between European and Brazilian. And even then, probably people are just sort of used to it. It's like, oh, there's an American developer. Fine. At least it's kind of close to what I'd expect. Hey, Leftus. The guy from Burn Notice. You'd have to tell me the actor name so I can just look this up because I'm otherwise not familiar enough with this to know what you're referring to. No clue, dude. Okay. How's Pokemon going? Better show them something they have a chance of understanding normally, yeah. Bernie Notice. Ah, yes. The boy Huga Eater. All right, so I pulled this and I never actually checked for this thing. So show defeated elite banner and waiting for first battle. Both of these are probably good. So let's go find out. This is beat instance for the first time. So I want to put a page up handler here. Page up. Show defeated elite instance ID.canyon. All right, so now when you press page up, it's going to just show this banner. I don't care about that. There we go. Wait, is this a reference to something else then? Where did the burn notice comment come from? I thought it was a lookalike comment, like your B message from a while ago. All right, so we press the key, this happens, and then that should show on top of battles. It does. It should not show on top of this. It doesn't. And is there anything else that we can test that with? That's good. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Maybe a dialogue? Okay, dialogue show on top of it. That I don't know about. I don't know what order this should be in. So let's just leave it as is for now. Jeffrey Donovan. I woke up and chose chaos. Okay, so there's no reason. Thank you regardless, Smurf. I was like, do I look like this man? No. Just... You definitely did choose chaos. There's the right side of the bed, the wrong side of the bed, and then not even waking up on the bed. Left just slept from hooks in the ceiling or something. All right, so then the battle nudge. This is the very first battle that happens, and we end up adding the nudge back to here. So we need to go in the tutorial, skip tutorial, and try that out. It's uncanny. How does he know? How does he know I'm secretly a bat at night? And I've got a utility belt full of weapons. Whoa, what in the world just happened? Did it just crash? What was that? Yeah, it did crash. I think I pressed Q right as this thing opened. I don't even think that matters. Or did I do something? What did happen there? It's possible I accidentally hit rebuild or something like that. Yeah, this, I don't know. Okay, well, can I get this to happen or no? Is that not okay? So there's the, now that you have this and them in the battle, that's what this nudge is, right? Main nudge, battle nudge. What does this say? What do you say? Guildmaster, battle nudge. Now they have an adventure, send them into battle. Yeah, this. This can't even show up on top of anything. Wait a second. How did I open this? Oh yeah, that's not supposed to be possible. I can only do that because I'm on a debug build right now. And the buildings menu thing shouldn't even show up. So this is not a problem. And even if it did show up on top, which I don't know if it can technically, yes. So it can show up on top of this thing. But like I said, I don't think that's a problem. This particular thing is fine. Although, why is that happening? Because this banner doesn't show up on top of this. So how does this thing show up on top? Or am I misunderstanding what's going on here? UI add at top of scene tree, main nudge. There's also map nudge. Okay, well, it's a main nudge that we care about here. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's happening. Pokemon is fun. It's been nice to stream some this week. Nice, nice, nice. Hey, Olgo. Thanks for the raid. Pushed you into affiliate. Nice. Oh wait, no, I don't think that's possible, or at least not directly. I think they don't count raids for any sort of like viewership metric that they need. At least they don't do that for partnership. So they might do it for affiliate, but I'd be surprised. But what could have happened is by having as many viewers as you did, now more people naturally joined, and then those people counted. Does it have an extra Z index? That's a good point. It might. I didn't even think about that. Ordering. Yes, it does. Okay, yes. Then everything's fine. Is the corresponding follows coming back? Oh yeah. Either way, you're welcome. It was nice to see you streaming. And I was like, oh, Olgo, I recognize that name. Let me go into their channel. Yeah, man, by the way, as I'm watching, okay, so you mentioned it's like an MMO for your friends. First of all, I love that statement. I think that's great. I think it'd be an interesting idea. And I guess some games have tried to do something like this, like Ark or Minecraft. They made it so that, hey, you can host a server and as many people as you want can join, but probably it's just going to be for your friends. However, then the next thing I thought was MMOs are a ton of work. Man, like what you have is good. But then I just thought, every once in a while you see someone make a game engine or a game foundation, but not the actual game yet. And I recognize it's probably early on or that you have a lot more planned to do. But it's like, imagine if I made Mario Kart and I was like, okay, I got the world stuff. I've got the general like driving mechanics. It's like, you still need all of the racers, the items, the whatever else. It's like none of these on their own would form the game. And I just thought, I don't envy that process right now. It'll be reminiscent of an MMO. Yeah. And I'm not even saying this from the standard game advice of, oh, don't make an MMO as your first game. That's not where that was coming from. It was purely just, even seeing the foundation you have, I can't help but look ahead as a game designer, game developer, and say, okay, there's a long path to getting to whatever kind of game you want to make. But it looks good. And I like that you've got some like kind of convenience features about dragging items out of the inventory or onto the player. Oh yeah. Again, none of this is meant to be like advice or something. It was purely a stream of consciousness. I'm not judging what you're doing other than me saying it looked good. It's dark. Yeah. Okay, so both of these things look like they were looking fine. I will probably write a note in here just saying that note to self, the battle nudge at the beginning has a hard-coded Z index of 10, which is why it can show on top of the battle map. But that's not a problem since it immediately fades out when it does that. Anyway, it looks good. Thanks for doing this so quickly. And sorry about the miscommunication when you'd asked in chat. Cool. What is this person? Oh, okay. All right, try to keep things relevant to the stream. I don't know what that person was saying, but should I get it? Just commiserate? Yeah. And by the way, I think of this with many games now at this point. It's not just the sort of MMO-esque kinds of games, but even if someone were making, I don't know, a Tetris clone or something, and they're like, hey, I got block movement working, I'd be like, oh man, there's so much work to do. And part of that comes from, if you look back at any point in the Skeleseller development, is this already muted? I thought I was watching YouTube this morning. Playlist, so we have Skeleseller VOD somewhere there. Yeah, so we just click like this, for example, and we look at one of these screenshots. I had been working for 8 days already on the game. Where's anywhere that I'm actually playing the game in this video? Oh, maybe it's showing up and it's just not so colorful, so I'm not able to find it by looking at the thumbnails. That's probably what's happening. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so this is apparently what the game looked like after 9 days. No. This was a testing thing that I think we'd done. This is for the title screen. Yeah, I think there was more to it than this. But heck if I can find it quickly. There it is. There, I finally found it. All right, check this out. So yeah, this is what Skeleseller looked like back then. You could create battles. All the enemies in the player's face left. Just damage numbers went straight up. This was the town. There was no like world filled in. And to go from that to something like this and having yeah, battles look correct and animations and all this other stuff. It's just the journey is so long to get here. Yeah. All right. So I don't think I actually clicked merge, did I? No, I didn't. All right. Now we're going to use something that's super cool. The release tool that I made. Because I think we can publish a new version now. And I think we should. I didn't make any other changes, did I? Nope, that was it. And there should be a tag on here. You can't see tags in here, though? Huh. It's a bit of a shame. Hey, we're up. Sorry, I thought this might be relevant news. I don't think it's relevant to the stream. I think it could be relevant to the community. But yeah, I think it's a little strange. First time chatter coming in. Unless, have you said something before? No, yeah, it was just that. You made the release tool with a C# console app, right? Yeah. Yeah. So what was I going to do? I was going to try to find out which one of these is tagged. And it should be one of those like 6 or 7. Is there a way to see this on here? Looking over here. I don't think so. And if there is, it doesn't necessarily matter. I can just click tags over here. Oh, God. Okay. Apparently, you don't push tags by default. Get how to push tags. Is there like a special -- tags thing? Yes, there is. Yeah. Okay. You can tell it to push tags by default. So if I do get push -- tags, we now have all of these things such that I wonder if it shows in the commit history. I don't see it here. Let me find the commit that it's supposed to be on anyway. Now the tags show up here. That part's good. And it shows on 89DB. Yes, there's the tag. So we can't see this from over here. Where's 89DB? There it is. So this is allow script to be run from anywhere. This is the one that should have it. But yeah, I don't see it. So I wonder how you'd tell at a glance. Maybe I guess you would just go through the tags thing. Alternatively, I guess the releases thing, right? Oh no, I didn't make a release for this. Yeah, you have to go through tags. Okay, that's fine. So then I should probably do what Freak Technique suggested and have it push tags by default. Is there ever a time I don't want that? I don't think so. Get push tags by default. Why doesn't it? Okay, maybe we should read this first. See tags in the hundreds. What do you want to push? Everything all the time? Pushing all tags can pollute the tag space. The current behavior, keep the control of what you're publishing in the upstream repo. I think we should push these. I don't care if we end up with like tens of tags on here. Follow tags? What is follow tags? Only pushes annotated tags. If set to true, enable follow tags. You can override this. Okay, let me look that up just to make certain that that's what's actually happening here. Push all the refs that would be pushed without this option, and also push annotated tags and refs and tags that are missing from the remote but are pointing at commit-ish that are reachable from the refs being pushed. Yeah, so I think this is what we want. And maybe I'll just write this in the release instructions. Set this so that we push annotated tags with git push. Okay, we got to test this later. And by later, I mean in like 15 minutes. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go enable this setting. And then I'm going to write a note to myself. See whether git push pushed the tags due to my global config that I set. Whatever this is. Hey, Boomer. How's it going? So you have to do git tag. Yeah, that's what we're already doing. The release tool is doing that. Add instruction about pushing tags. That way we can see them on GitHub. Okay, let's do that. Am I setting a message? Yeah, the message is just the same as the version number. Hey, Karada. Happy getting rich by adding treasure. Hey, Karada, I have a question for you. Why does happy have a space in it when you type it? Because I've seen this before, but only for the word happy. And I'm very curious about that. Okay, so now we got to launch this thing. Let's go do it. That should be pretty simple. Click this and we click this. And then we wait. So we're just going to push the demo version. And we want the demo to be 084. And we should probably make a Steam news thing or something. Started doing it and realized it would make people curious and stand out. So I kept doing, okay, gotcha. Well, mission accomplished. Yeah, all right. So what this is doing is it's exporting all the builds. We got the Windows, the Mac, and the Linux build. Then it's going to ask if I want to upload it to Steam, ask if I want to upload it to itch. We're going to say yes to both of those things. Then we're going to make it live on Steam. And then I guess we should probably make a set of patch notes. Yeah, let me do that really fast. Where is this? Version tools.cs? There's some like gigantic set of instruction upload tools. Here it is. I don't want to wait for this to print out. Also, we shouldn't close that. All right, so post on Steam. Here's how we find the link. How do I go to this? There we go. Uh-oh. This page doesn't do anything. Uh-oh. Oh, because it got these characters at the end. All right, so we'll call this yeah, small update. And let's go get the past ones. Mind hacker. Changes to skill, lots of polish. Yeah, so this is what we want here. Should I even write anything for this? All we're really going to say is stop using the Spanish build and fix a z-index thing. No, I don't think I'm going to write anything. Yeah, I don't think we need to post patch notes for this because they're just not going to matter to anybody. Do you want to upload to Steam? Yes. I hope this works. I did this the other day and everything went fine. And this saves me a ton of time. Write the patch notes in Spanish. Write them in half Spanish. Okay, so here are all the things we need to do. I still got to go do this. If I click this, is it going to open? I hope not. I'm gonna highlight it because I can't show this on screen. All right, so post announcements, consider titling it, put GIFs and stuff, post on this with any changes. Should I do that part? Would people care about this? No, I don't think so. Yeah, let's just upload to itch. And then I got to go onto the Steam app and approve this. And then we can get started with the treasure coding for today. Oh, wait, no, I can't just approve it. What am I doing? I need to actually make it public. This is 083-demo. No, 084-demo. Yep, set build live, done. And now we confirm. How do we confirm? There we go. Okay, done. Yeah, that was super easy. Half of every word. Yep. That's me. Instead of C, I say S. I sound very snake-like when I speak Spanish. All right, so this part's done. Everything should be live now. And there was one other thing we wanted to do, this. So we want to do a git push and make sure that this pushes the tags, but I'm not going to do dash dash tags. So I'm just going to do a push, right? And we don't need these things here. It looks like it worked. Okay, let's go verify on GitHub. Hey, Jessica. Stepped away for a bit. Is this a Steam publish pipeline? Yeah. So I'll point out, yeah, nice, I made it. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's really good. Awesome, and thank you, Free Technic. I'll give you a point for that. I didn't know you could do that automatically. Now you have a commit and a tag to push. No, I don't think we have a commit because we don't change anything. Yeah, there's no commit. It's just the tag. So like this is what's going to be tagged with the demo, even though it's just me modifying the release instructions. Anyway, the Steam publish pipeline. So yeah, what this release tool does is all of this stuff that you see. So we ask you, what do you want to publish? And this is either demo or playtest for now, but eventually it'll also be the release version. And then we look up the old version of this. So it'll say like 0.8.3. We ask you for a new version. So you might type 0.8.4. Then it's going to add any features for your build flavor. So for example, in the demo, you can't get all of the adventurers. So it's going to add the demo feature to the game itself such that the game knows that you can't get all the adventurers. Then we're going to set that version in the project file so that it actually knows it is 0.8.4. So if we were to open this build right now, if I go to Skeleseller tools, open, what you should see at the bottom left of the title screen is the demo version. So 0.8.4 demo. So it knows what version it is. And then we build through Godot and upload and then tag and revert any files we modified. Put mine in GitHub Actions and it was a bit of a pain. Yeah, I think doing this on like a proper CI box is potentially better. You're not using your own compute. It could just happen automatically. It could still ask you the same sorts of questions. But then I guess you need to be a little bit safer with your credential handling. I don't mind running this manually for now, at least. Also, I'm not actually sure if you can turn Steam Guard off for deploys. You might be able to, but I figure as far as I know, this manual step is required. So I think having other manual steps is not so bad. You could use this in a CI. Yeah, that's true. I guess it won't necessarily hurt or anything. Olgo, if you want some of the code for that, by the way, I don't mind sharing some of it. It's not public, but things like, what do? We have some tools for running processes. I mean, this stuff probably wouldn't be that hard for you to make yourself, but some of it might serve as an interesting starting point. Okay, so start tackling the pre-launch systems, reusing locations. Hey, Goose. I expect actual deploys need a manual step, but you can also manually trigger CI. Yeah. Might be good to spin a portion, good portion to spin off. Few solutions out there that are maintained. Yeah. Maybe we should have even looked into something like that. When you're getting a goose emote, never. There's no rubber goose debugging. You can't talk to a goose. They will only make your thoughts muddier in your head. All right, so I wrote all the conclusions up here for this stuff. What I think I want to work on is the treasure chest stuff. And I think since we only have at best kind of a couple hours, maybe 3 hours today, then I think what we should probably focus on is you can get chests from battle. You can, or maybe not even from battle. You can get chests, you can get keys. You can use the keys on the chest. And then maybe the chests drop loot. Maybe that's what we try to do today. Like not much other. Oh yeah. But still, there's probably something out there. Someone's probably kept something. Hey Goldskin, is it easy to submit games on Steam? I do that a lot for work, and I've never seen an app back office that's actually easy to use. Are you saying you submit games on Steam for work, or just like submitting apps elsewhere. Because here's what I would say about Steam. There is a large learning curve as a dev. TV apps, I see. Yeah, large learning curve as a dev, but after that, it's easy enough to use, and there are APIs for most things that you would want. So just to give you an idea of the learning curve here, like Steam supports a lot of scenarios that most people probably don't think too much about. So as an example, you could have like entire localized builds of your game. Maybe you have a version of your game that should have some features removed essentially for a certain market. And you might never use this. You might just think, I have the game, I want to put it online. Why is there not just like a drag here and upload kind of thing? So you have these like the concept of depots and then builds within those depots and branches within the depots where you put builds. And it might seem like a lot. And then you also have multiple apps for a single game. So as an example, I have a demo app and like a regular app and a playtest app. So I have 3 apps just for Skeleseller. Within those, I have like Windows, Linux, Mac depots. Within those, I have an alpha branch and a default branch. Within those, I have the different builds for versions that I have. So it's like, that's just for uploading your game. Then think about for your store page, think about for all the other like random little things you do. So yeah, I think once you've learned all that stuff, then it's not too bad. But the other problem that's kind of inherent to game dev is that most people aren't like pumping out a game every week. So you learn this once and you use it, and then you spend another 2 years making a game and forget everything you ever learned. So yeah, it's a little tough to keep it all in your head and remember all this. Itch had a lot of APIs for the process. I'd imagine the ecosystem for Steam would be massive. Yeah, and the itch upload process for us is pretty simple. It's just use Butler and just choose a game and like a tag for it. So this is our entire upload to itch process right here. That's it. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, chess keys. Let's go start working on that stuff. So make a new branch. Let's do that first. Make sure we're on main here. And then get checkout -b treasure chest. And then get stash pop. So this gives us the key code. But this isn't necessarily what we want here. Let me think about this. What's the way you're going to get keys is by making a weapon grinder. So should we just start with a weapon grinder? Like we can approach this from any direction, I guess. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Maybe we should start with a weapon grinder. None of it's going to be none of it's going to be super fun. It's just a lot of stuff to get through. So yeah, I think we probably should start with it. Start with the weapon grinder. And keys. So keys now exist. And we said we wanted 4 different kinds of keys. Right now it's just key. So I'll write to do, fill this in later. It has no value. That's fine. I mean, it could have some value. It could be like 1 gold. That's okay. So keys are a thing. This doesn't need to happen. We can get rid of this. And instead, I could put something in town for unhandled input, which is just if you press page up, you get a key. Add items. Does this take in? No, it takes in an instance. I want the one that takes in an item ID. Okay, so there, add a key. All right, so let's try that. Like a real Valve employee, he ignores the question. Wait, which question? Oh, how come you haven't made Half-Life 3 yet? Sorry, I'm too busy being a real Valve employee. Uncommitted change. Oh, whoops, I'm running the wrong thing. Wow, that's actually pretty nice. I want to run the game, not the release tool. All right, so now when I press page up, we should see a key pop out of here. Yeah. So this is our new item. But this is not how you're supposed to get the item. You're supposed to get it by grinding up weapons. Hey, M2. So we gotta go make a weapon grinder. Where is our extractor right now? Does this inherit from the item machine? It does. It's got pipes coming out of it though. We don't want those pipes. Yeah, so I think the weapon grinder should look like this except without the pipe. Yeah, especially because the grass is around the pipe and there shouldn't be grass there, right? But this is all one sprite, and I think the sprite has, yeah, it has it all just built in. Oh, and the animation also has the pipe bulging here. Okay, I hadn't thought about this. Hmm. this this changes things a bit. So my original plan was, since this is the weapon shop, we would put a little stone platform back here and we put the weapon grinder there. And then there'd be some item displays. You know, let me just mock this up. So we do something like this. I'm not going to try to make this look great. We're just going to do this. Where's the item extractor? Objects. No, it's not in there. What? Okay. Well, let's go find out where this thing lives, because I actually don't know. How do you even... There we go. Extractor. It's under world and then farming. All right. World, farming, extractor. So open with GIMP. All right. So we would have taken this thing and we paste this over here. It's very tiny. All right. I'm not going to try to make this to scale or anything. It'll look blurry. I don't care. So we'd put this here. And then we get a bunch of item displays. And again, I'm just going to kind of copy paste this stuff. That didn't work. Oh my God. Why am I so bad at this? All right, so we need like 4 of these things to hold items. So something like that. And then these would hold the keys on top of them. So let's just paste that over there too, huh? Did it paste? Where is it? What? What is going on right now? It should be pasting and it's not. Oh, there it is. Hello, tiny key. How do I scale you? Shouldn't Shift S just work here? Huh. Okay, well, I apparently don't know how to use this. I have the scale tool open. I don't know why I can't click this. Yeah, very strange. How are you supposed to use this thing? Because I just used it before and it worked totally fine. All right, well, I don't know. There's our key. Whatever. We're gonna put it onto here. I can't even do that. All right, I hate this. That's my mock-up. We're done. Oh, it's not selected? It looks like it's selected. Yeah, there we go. You're correct. Well, I'm still butchering this, and I don't really care anymore. We're just leaving it like that. There's our blurry key. I could have changed the filtering. I'm an artiste. So yeah, the only problem I'd say we really have here is that this pipe probably shouldn't be there, but then we won't have an animation for this thing. And if we do use a pipe, then it implies that the keys are flowing through a pipe for some reason, which I mean, I guess they could, but then this thing would have to be on grass as well. So here's the animation that plays in the game right now when you put an item into this thing. Watch closely. You see that? The pipe has this little bulge, goes into the ground. So that's cool. I like that. It indicates that this is working. But maybe we just think about this later. Hey, Silly. What else do the ground up weapons go into if not into the pipe? I guess we could have a different machine entirely. Oh, you know what? Maybe they just like emit out of the side of this thing. Like maybe we just chop off the pipe and you put a weapon into here, and it just shoots out of the side. Yeah. Well, anyway, okay. So my conclusion is that we probably need a different graphic for this. But I could just chop off the pipe and make this myself if we need to. They just spit out materials, right? Yeah. Yeah. All right, so weapon grinder. We need the graphics. Or we need to change the extractor graphic. It has a pipe coming out of the right side with grass at the bottom of the pipe. We should probably just chop the pipe off and have the smoke animation with a key flying out of the right. Yeah, so we would save the extractor as, well, we save it somewhere else. I don't even know where we save this. Scenes, town, treasure. And we call this the weapon grinder. And we save this as weapon grinder. Now we need a different script because right now it's got the extractor script. Oh, won't this be fun? Won't this just be a hoot? All right, this should have been in the farming thing to begin with. Let's make a new folder. We'll call this treasure. And we'll call this weapon grinder. And then put this inside the treasure namespace. Weapon grinder. All right, now go put that in. Okay. So this, let's take a peek at the code here. So base item value per key is what we need. And it should probably be quite a lot of money. Maybe like, oh, actually. You need a decent amount of keys. All right, we'll need to balance this later. Let's not try to come up with numbers for right now. All right, accumulated value is just going to be along here. Accumulated value. We need a reference to the item displays we're going to have for the weapon grinder. Doesn't even acknowledge slimes anymore. We talked about this yesterday, that what if we had the mimic be a slime type of thing, but I thought looking like a treasure chest is better. Oh, wait. Oh, you're talking about just for the weapon grinder. Like, what if you fed... Oh, I didn't think about that. What if you fed weapons to the key slime? Okay, that's potentially a great idea. What if instead of a weapon grinder machine, there was a key slime that you fed weapons to? It then spits out keys. I think I like this. It's Slimesmith. Yeah, sure, fine. But are they shaped like a key? I think they should be shaped like a key. Okay, so let's write this down. I'll talk to Quickie Joe about this later. Message Quickie Joe. What do you think about a Slimesmith that takes in weapons and produces keys? They could even look sort of like a key. Let me pull this up. Yeah, high fives, everyone. Thank you, chat. Okay, so originally what we were talking about is we had like a mimic, which would be a treasure chest that talks to other treasure chests. And then we had the weapon grinder, and I just never even thought of making this into a slime. But this one was potentially going to be a slime. And I didn't like that idea. So let's try this out. Let's say a cartoonish medieval fantasy slime that is shaped like a key with a happy expression on its face. Create. So I want to see if this is kind of what I'm thinking of. Like, I have a picture in my head. There's no way I can communicate it, and it doesn't matter because in like 7 seconds, we're going to see whatever this thing comes up with. A bandana, a beard, an apron, and possibly an eye patch or parrot. Okay, none of this is what I was thinking of. It's a slime that is shaped like a key. Shaped like a key. Happy, cartoonish. I guess the medieval part doesn't matter. Fantasy slime shaped like a key. Create. You put the key shape on the apron. I looked originally at where the eye patch messages came from, and I did not see whatever leftist was referring to. Even this isn't working. Also, what is that monstrosity? A happy, cartoonish, key-shaped slime. Create. Hey, Mars. I just want to see a slime that looks like a key. Is that too much to ask for? It apparently is too much to ask for. Slime that whose body is in the shape of a key. All right, that's it. This is the last one I'm going to do. But if you ask for a key, it looks like a slime. Okay, we could try that. This is the second to last one. If this is bad, then. Yeah, a key with a slime skin, something like that. It's having a good think there. Yeah. Every once in a while, this just doesn't really seem to produce anything. Like, I don't know if these images even work. No, they don't load. The other ones do, but this set just got borked, and it looks like the same thing's happening over here. Yeah. If I... Yeah, there's no way to do this. Okay, fine. Well, let's just let that run on the side. I could run it myself. Yeah, although the Mac bindings aren't great from what I understand. And also there's a lot of prompting you have to do to get it to look good. I tried a while ago and I wasn't super pleased with it. Then again, I need a lot more expertise for this stuff. Even they had them solid shaped. But those are the keys that go into chests, I'm guessing? Because I was going to say, this is the thing that gives you the keys. The keys are going to be solid. Yeah, this thing just says images are currently in progress. It generated some of them. It's probably never going to generate the last one. And even then, it did a bad job. Also, look at how goofy this thing looks. It's got like Adam art eyes. This is terrible. All right, let's try Freak Technic suggestion here. Can I even type something in? No, I can't. It's not going to let me generate a new thing, is it? Terrible. It's eating a key. Well, all these look really doofy, don't they? Like, look at this. That's not shaped like a key. It's just got a key next to it. And the last one was this one. At least that's closer to what I want, maybe? I don't know. Yeah. Also, why would anyone pick Surprise Me for this? I guess if they're just showing it to a friend. All right, well, this was a waste of time. So what do you think about a slime smith that takes in weapons and produces keys? It can even look like some sort of... They can even sort of look like a key themselves. This is like how the garbage slime takes in any item and produces money. Shocking. Okay, well then let's see. How would this slime work? Because I guess when it was a machine, I was thinking it would just work like the other machine worked. And there was kind of a reason why we did that in the first place. It's for some familiarity. But when it's a slime, it could work a little bit differently. Could be that feeding it a weapon has a chance to give a key based on the value of the weapon. That's roughly equivalent to the accumulator style that we have. Roughly equivalent to the accumulator style that we have. Oh, wait. Oh, that was the reason we needed this to be a machine, is because you need to be able to turn this on or off. And if it's a slime, I don't know how you're doing that. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the weapon grinder route. I like the idea of a slime, and we could still technically have it as an NPC there. So I'll probably hold off on messaging Quickie Joe. Chat suggested making a slime smith that is a key and forms keys, but we need some way to turn them off. And a machine probably makes more sense for that. The machine can look like, well, yeah, so either we come up with a way to have an off switch, which wouldn't be consistent with the extractor, or we make a proper machine. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with a machine. All right, well, anyway, let's get back to this. So we need something that's going to point to the item destinations. So to do get something that points to the item destinations associated with this. I'll just comment that out. Destination doesn't matter. Item value per fish is base item value times all this stuff. We don't even need that. Save data we'll work on after. It should probably save its accumulated value. Item value to be turned in is lever toggled on. Yeah, this stuff. Okay, Adam, to get someone to draw more slimes. Gooey cube. So this is going to be needed to do get save data working. All right, max fish value allowed. I guess it's max value allowed. We need to figure out how many things are here. And then, yeah, compute all this stuff. We're not going to compute that now. We'll just say that this is 10, 100, 1,000. I don't know. Code this. All right, so we got to initialize this with some sort of item displays, or this thing needs to have its own item displays. I think that'd be a mistake. I think there should be some location that keeps track of these. And I wonder what that location should be. I should probably try to figure that out right now. So let's look at our very high fidelity mockup. Ah, yes. Yeah. And oh, my key is gone now. Put the key back and to new layer there. Yeah, so something's got to store these things. And typically it's a building that keeps track of it. In this case, I guess it would just be like key item displays or key holders. Maybe call it key holders. Yeah, I like that. Key storage. That's better. It's much better. Hey, Velazquez, good day to you. All right, so now we need to go make a key storage, and it's going to look sort of like the warehouse does, I suppose, which is considered itself a storeroom. This is a building that is a drop zone that is also a node. This is all sensible for this thing too. And it has a million functions, which is probably also sensible. So let's save this. Yeah, this is why I said this is going to be a ton of work. There's a lot to do. So we're going to save this under treasure. Where's treasure? There it is. We're going to call this key storage. And then rename this key building, a very important structure, a VIS. Can we just save this? There's no problem with this? Yeah, I guess not. All right, so now we have our key storage. Save data we're ignoring for now. This we're kind of ignoring for now. Code this to use the key storage. So we're initializing this with our key storage. Save that. Num empty plots change. I'm not going to worry about that yet. Get extractor name. This does need to be coded in here. This is going to be called the weapon grinder. We hide the lever. We probably shouldn't hide it. I don't know. I'll write to do consider this. Whether the lever should be shown by default. I think it should be. So tackle to do items. Please no waifu seller. Will accept item. We're going to take one of these functions, this, and we're going to put it in will accept item. And then delete the other ones. Will accept for farm can be gone. Will accept for pond can be gone. Let's go back to will accept item. All right, so we can only accept weapons. Oh, also we got to search for item category and make sure we don't check something like if this is an armor, do X, else do Y, because now we'll have 2 more categories and the else should be more specific. So we need to know how much your key storage has. Key storage dot, it's going to have to be will accept item. And the accumulated value plus item value to be turned in is less than or equal to max value allowed. Something like that. A reason why item will not be accepted. If it's not a weapon, then we say it's an invalid destination. This is only weapons. Oops, all berries. Perfect. That's what we want. Now, why is that erroneous here? Invalid destination, only weapons. That looks fine. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. All right, then farm will accept if farm or fishing pond. So otherwise we say get invalid destination storage full. And we put this here, invalid destination storage full. We say the key storage is full. Retired Android, thanks for the resub. Happy 16. Retired Android Sweet 16 in the channel. All right, slowly making our way through this file. So that stuff's looking fine. Show the lever. This is a bit confusing. Why is this here? Load from save data. This should be in the parent class, I think. Never called sweet. Is that mostly for girls? Sweet 16. Sweet 16 birthday. Coming of age party celebrating 1/16th birthday, mainly celebrated in the US. Oh, apparently it is not a gender specific thing. Huh. Then again, I never experienced this myself from somebody else or for myself. So I have no way to chime in on that. Is the game out yet? No, it'll be another few months. But the demo's in pretty good shape. Yeah. You gave a speech. Do you remember the speech? Yeah, I skipped over 16. I just jumped right to 17. I thought that's overrated. So to do, this should probably be in the base class. It's pretty cringe. Okay. Load from save data. We're going to need to do this too. Code this. So turn in item, try using accumulated value. This stuff's all fine. Get item quantity to be accepted. So this is items accepted is going to be the max value allowed minus the accumulated value divided by the item value. And then the max number of quantity that we're going to accept. We want to accept at least one. So we get rid of this and changes to items accepted. Yeah. Imagine if it perfectly executes that prompt. So modify accumulated item value, extract your destination and accumulated value.keys. Max value allowed. All right, so what do we do here? We're going to delete this and this. There is no destination switch. We always just get max value allowed is going to be max value allowed. So we can delete that. Max value allowed. If the accumulated value is greater than it, then stop. Otherwise, add delta. So I guess we can just say this here. If it's less than this, then add this. Okay, sure. What does this do? Set fishing pond. We don't have a fishing pond. Update seed count. We don't have a seed count. Turn in item calls base.turn in item and then tries using the accumulated value. Update seed count. How does this work? Indeed. How does this work? What is this function? Update seed count and update fish count. Oh, it uses the accumulated value per thing. Okay, I see. So try using accumulated value here would be to just subtract what we can. Didn't I already write some code like that? Okay, well, we're going to write it now, I suppose. This will be keys to give. And we need to figure out how many you can give. Max keys we can give. Oh, this is going to be so difficult. Because we have many different kinds of keys and they can stack and it's based on what our destination is going to accept. I don't like this. All right, well, let's just say 5. And I'll write it to do here. Figure this out based on what types of keys we're generating. And which ones we already have. Yeah. Mod support for waifu Skeleseller. Base item value per seed. Is there just base item value? Yeah, per key. All right, then change this. Minus equal per key times. Said seeds to give. This should be keys to give. And then to do produce that many keys. This isn't even true. None of this is correct. This function needs to know how to generate multiple kinds of keys with different chances. Yeah, you have our mission. So you can get a PR by me that hides all that code. So update fish count is not a thing. Update seed count was only called from this. Yeah, try using accumulated value so they can be deleted. Okay, we made it to the bottom of this file. We probably have some errors. Yes, we do. Although those probably go away when I rebuild. And then this code doesn't do what I want it to do, and it never actually tries making a key. So no part of this actually works. And it won't even... All right, let's just reload the whole thing. All right, well, the errors should be gone. We should be able to run the game. But I don't have a... Oh, wait, no. Sorry. We can't run the game because of this. Unlocked fishing pond. So we need some way of knowing there's key storage here. So I need to make a key storage. I need to make the weapon grinder. Yeah, like I said, a lot to do. But it does build, which is the first step that we need. Let me change YouTube chat over here. There we go. All right. Well, let's get to it then. So we need to be able to make a key storage. A key storage does not exist right now. And there should be a storeroom here. A key storage is going to be very similar to this. There's an item drop zone, which I guess is set by the child class item displays. In fact, I wonder if we can consider key storage to be a storeroom. That is a very good question. Can the key storage be a storeroom? Oh, it's working out pretty well. I'm still able to be productive and glance over every once in a while and be like, oh, none of this applies to me. Kevin's trying to forge commits. Boomer and Freak Technic are trying to get their master vision in the game. So what's the answer to this question? How does this work? What does this do? On item clicked, on drop zone clicked. We still want these things, I guess. Upgraded. I don't know about that, but we could just hide that. What else? We have save data gets all the displays. I mean, so far it's looking like this thing can be a storeroom. We have a load thing. We have get valid, get occupied, get all item displays, get call to next upgrade, get number, add next, grant items. Okay, this is looking like a totally valid thing to do. Wow. Yeah, look at that. It all fits. There's only this problem. Why does it say the warehouse is full? Is this used? That can't be right. The warehouse is full. I guess it's the only thing we exposed for this, but that's technically incorrect. This should be a virtual function that has the child class specify what the name of this thing is. When is this ever called? Get reason why I will not be accepted. Okay, yeah, that's technically incorrect. Okay, I'll write that down as a cleanup thing. Clean up this for, I guess, storeroom. That should defer to the child classes. I guess we're gonna have to do this anyway because I'm about to make the key storage inherit from this. This is for the quick move menu. Yeah. Well, that's not just for the quick move menu. You might try just manually dragging an item somewhere, and that's when this prints out. And that's fine. The question was, why is the base class storeroom referring to a child class warehouse? And that's just a mistake. But yeah, so warehouse is a storeroom, just like how key storage is about to be a storeroom. This is pretty interesting. So we say this is key storage. Replace. Oh, wait a sec, though. All of the item displays that get added for a proper storeroom can accept anything. Do we have a category here? Yes, we do. It's set to none. Okay, we need to override that as well. I'll write that down. Make sure item category in the key storage is just keys. Storeroom.add item display. Storeroom.add item display. Makes it allow anything. Yeah. I like that, Lepches. I wonder I wonder if we can put that into the game somehow. On the night of the full moon, watch out for the warehouse. It's the kind of joke probably only works in English. So like how do you even localize that? Do you just take it out of the game if you're not playing in English? But then there are probably some other jokes that work in other languages. You need a really good translator for that stuff. Okay, well, here's our key storage. I mean, Yeah, maybe this is fine. Maybe it's not. Let's look at the vault. Let's copy this stuff over there. Build top to bottom. It doesn't really matter if this fills top to bottom or not. We probably need to change the way that we arrange these things. But now we go make, however we made a vault, we need to make this thing. So please tell me we didn't just put a vault in here. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. We did not. So that means that the town has a create vault function. Yes. Whew. Okay, so let's make a create key storage function. This is going to be key storage, capital K. All right, do that. Scene paths. Do we have a scene for this? Did I save one? I don't think I did. We have a vault scene, right? Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. And then we have a, what's the other one called? Warehouse. Yeah. So let's go save the vault as key storage. Key storage. And rename this to key storage and give it the right script. Key storage. Done. Okay. So now we need that in scene paths. Let's put it next to the vault. Key storage. It's actually technically in treasure. And then key storage. Although I'm not actually positive that's true because I don't remember where I put this. No, it's not there. It's in source scene script. Oh no, that's not the scene. I want where the scene is. Where's that? Scenes town treasure. Scenes town treasure. Yeah, okay, that's correct. And then we'll just alphabetize this up here. Okay, add it to the building node. Make sure the enchant credentials on top. Don't care about that. Set the position of it. All right, this we're just going to hard code to somewhere in the world. I don't really care where right now. Let's try to get it close enough. Like 550 and -50. Sure. Then initialize it. And then set up storeroom. What does this do? Oh god, it does everything. And show a sign. I don't care about that. So when you press page up, instead of adding a key, we're going to create the key storage if it doesn't already exist. If key storage is null. Okay, let's try that out. It's, as far as I know, it's not going to create smoke. I don't know what creates smoke for this. Maybe the vault just never had it. So if I press page up, do we see something appear? No, of course not. We see an error appear. So it's saying cannot open file key storage.tscn. Did I forget to save? No. Did I mislocate it? Open in file manager. Copy path. Scene paths. So it is in scenes, town, treasure, key storage. This should be exactly... No, it doesn't match. I made a typo somewhere. Treasure. Okay, well, that's a problem. Yeah. All right, so that should fix that. And then we're going to have another issue here, right? Which is... Oh, what was the other issue? Oh, yeah, the smoke. Where's the smoke happen from? Create warehouse. Hey, Dev. I don't see any smoke here. Oh, the sign creates the smoke. And we don't have a sign doing this. So we probably need to write that down and clean up. Create smoke when building the weapon grinder. Alternatively, what if you... Okay, this might be dumb, but we have the treasure spirit. This is what lets you build, or maybe like we call it the treasure room. That's probably what we should call it. This is what lets you build, this is what lets you open treasure chests. And then we have the weapon grinder. This is what gives you keys for the chests. So my original plan was you can only unlock both at once. But what if the treasure room was a prerequisite for the weapon grinder? That would mean you could still open chests after their timers expire, but the keys are needed to expedite things. The only reason that I even thought about this, though, is that way you know the weapon grinder exists, because whoops, just bumped the microphone, sorry. They're going to be in different parts of the world. But even that was only done sort of to artificially limit how fast you can do this. That makes sense to you? Well, but okay, so here's the biggest problem of this, I think, is people will be happy to see treasure room appear in their buildings list, but then they'll unlock it and see that it takes 10 minutes to open a chest and start to think poorly of the game. I think this is potentially bad because a lot of mobile games do this. They have something like, oh, build the barracks to get troops. And you click build, and then you see a timer that says like 17 minutes, 14 seconds. You're like, oh, it's one of those games. Now, granted, you hit this point 2 hours into the game. So up until this point, you're like, oh, this is never a thing. But then the especially suspicious people are going to be like, wait a second, this just started happening at 2 hours. Isn't that the refund mark on Steam? Is that why they're waiting for this? These take a while. Hopefully we can get something to make it faster. Show keys counter, which has a pop-up that tells you they need to build a weapon grinder. I could have the NPC tell you about it, I guess. But I was thinking of having them tell you something else. Yeah, maybe they could tell you about keys. Because I think that's my biggest pushback for this. I don't think there's another one. All right, I'll write that down. Thoughts. We should maybe separate the building of key storage from treasure room. We just need to make it very clear that this isn't mobile garbage territory where we expect you to always wait like 10 minutes for treasure. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for chiming in, chat. I think that's good. So did I get this working? I said the thing about smoke. Yeah, we'll do that later, I guess. Create smoke when building the weapon grinder. We need a sign post for this. We also need the treasure room at some point. So did I didn't actually restart, did I? I don't think I did. Let's try restarting. If this works correctly, we should see something appear right about there. Hey, nice, we did. And these can hold anything right now. So if I grant items and try dragging this here, it works, it just doesn't highlight them, which is something I've got to fix. You could even tell them it won't always take a long time when they unlock it with a pop-up too, if you want to be super candid. Yeah, let's see how this goes, because I think by this point, people will be used to seeing the buildings in here such that they'll see the weapon grinder, but they might not. So, yeah. All right, so there's our key storage. We don't have it highlighted as a destination yet. So we just got to search for wherever we use the vault. Should be easy enough to find this. Yeah, so none of that. Here it is. Get all item destinations. So we just say key storage displays. Key storage. And then concat that, which it should know how to do. Perfect. All right. Let's keep looking for this. Vault save data. We're not doing the save data stuff yet, but I guess I'll add that in here to do add in the key storage save data. Okay, so now it'll get highlighted. Meaning when you drag an item, it'll actually show that you could put it there if you want to. Let's go try that out. So I drag an item. Yep, so now these are getting highlighted. Now they shouldn't because they should only work for keys. And there's a drop. Oh, what? Did it just put it there? It did. It put it behind a tree. I mean, that in itself is a different problem we got to solve. That means that the vault starts with 4 item displays? Yeah, maybe I did that. Clear a path for the key storage. Okay, let's start to clean up some of this stuff. What time is it? 10. I'm trying to think. We can definitely clean up the key storage stuff. It'll probably take another like 30 to 45 minutes. Well, it depends on how much we bother doing that. I could maybe trim that down a bit. But then we could make keys, and all that would let us do is store them in there. We would need the weapon grinder to be functional and produce keys itself. And the keys would have to know to go to your key storage. If there isn't space, what do? We just don't let you generate it. I'm wondering. I'm wondering if keys should be generated differently somehow. Like, okay, here's my stream of consciousness here. I haven't really thought this through yet. But what if they literally just formed a pile? There's just a pile of keys. And the pile itself has some limit to how tall it can get. So maybe it can hold like 14 keys. And at any given time, if you want to take one of those keys, you always like take the one on top. What does that do for us though? I don't think that's a good idea. All right, just ignore all that. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, let's clean up. Okay, so step 1, go into... Oh, shouldn't this say that it's full now if we try putting another item there? Yeah, and it says the warehouse is full. Let's go fix that. So storeroom. This should not be here. In fact, does this exist in 2 places? No, it doesn't. Okay, well, either way, this should be over in warehouse. And then we need storeroom where we have that get message call right here. We need this to be virtual. Get reason why item. Oh, can you even do that? Because this is an interface, right? That this comes from. I accept item. And this technically doesn't implement the interface. I don't know what this will do. Let's type hi here. And then copy this. And put this in the warehouse. And make this override the parent. You can probably do this. And then we just need this stuff. Localized. Who implements it? Maybe you don't need the virtual method then. Yeah, we might not. I'm not actually certain what happens here. So let's try this out. And then let's have the key storage also implement this function. And we'll have this say keys. It's got to say something like the key storage will not accept this, or you already have too many keys or something. So let's try this out. So we tried putting an item in the warehouse, and it says the warehouse is full. We try putting an item in key storage. Well, I guess 5 items in it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now the 5th item is going to fail. It just says keys. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so then this does work. And then the vault is what will say hi to us. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. All right. Hi, vault. So this, we should just say something here, maybe that this is... What do we say in this case? Technically, this should be abstract, but we're not allowed to say that this is abstract. We could throw a not implemented exception. Yeah, there. That's pretty good. All right, looks good. So the warehouse is full. So let's copy paste this everywhere. In fact, you know what we could do is we could... No, this is fine. Yeah, this is fine. I don't think we need to get fancy with this. Pole vault slime. Bank burglar slime. All right, so invalid destination is going to say something like... I guess we have to call this your key storage. Because otherwise, how will you know if we say like there's no room for keys? You might say, wait, well, my warehouse is empty. Maybe like the nearby key storage is full. Yeah. I'd like an achievement for unlocking all the slimes. But there's a secret slime, Inviso slime. You have to click a random part of the world, but there's just one pixel. And then it pops up a very tiny invisible dialogue. And you need to click accept on that. And then you get the achievement. So good luck finding it. It's already in the game. I can script that. No, you can't. The scripts need invisible APIs. All right, so now the vault. The vault's not even in the game. So I guess it throwing an exception is probably fine. Yeah, it's probably fine. All right, cool. So this part is done. Finish that. Next thing we have to do is to make it have a custom item category. So right now we do item category dot none. And we need to say that this thing only accepts keys. And then we need to test what happens. Test dragging a potion to make sure the error message is okay. I don't know what it's going to say. But yeah, this is a problem. We could just make a property that says what kind of item displays it creates. I think that makes the most sense. So let's make a protected virtual. Doesn't need to be virtual. No, it probably should be virtual, so it has to be overridden. We could just do it like this. Item category of displays. Yeah, there. That's fine. That's easy. All right, so we put that there, and then the key storage just overrides that. So we set this equal to key. Yeah. All right. It could get the category. Yeah, I think this is just a property of the building itself, and I don't think these things will ever change. So I think that's probably fine doing it this way. So now there's our storage. We try putting an item that doesn't belong, and it should say something. That item display doesn't accept that type of item. Yeah, I guess that's fine. The near, ooh, that's not right. Oh, drat. Yeah, that's wrong. We need to know why it's an invalid destination. Okay, so this is storeroom full, and then there needs to be one for like invalid destination wrong item type. The key storage can only hold keys. And now we just write that in here. And that's why we need the item in here. So this is why we coded this correctly. Oh, and actually the AI was correct on what we want here. Perfect. Let's try that out. You want to use class to define it and make sure it can't be overridden? I think it's, I don't know. This is one of those like, there are probably 4 different ways I could do this, and they're all going to be pretty compact and straightforward. And I don't really think any of them would bite us. So I'll probably just keep it how it is for now. The key storage can only hold keys. And if we try clicking that, it says that item display doesn't accept that type of item. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. This stuff should still work totally fine. Yep. Yep. We should be able to drag potions, armors. And then if we try dragging something else, it says the warehouse is full. Good. But there's no way for us to generate keys. So we need to make sure that it can actually hold keys. And for that, we need to go into our page up code that we have. And if the key storage exists, then let's create a key. Okay, so we do that. Then we create some keys. And I try dragging the keys over here. Yep, looks like it's working. Now if we try dragging another one, it says it's full. And if we unlock item stacking, we should be able to put more keys on top of that. Nice. And then one more item stacking. Nice. Very cool. Oh, you can put the keys over here if we want, right? Yeah. All right, cool. So we need to dedicate some space to this. Make sure it's walkable. Search for item category. So we're done with that. Make sure it's just keys. That's fine. All right, let's go search for item category. We got to clean up a whole bunch of other things. 353 results. I'm not looking through all those. Now it's 176 results. Yeah, there are a lot of these. All right, well, we do need to look through them. So anywhere there's an if statement around this stuff, like these things, this might matter. What does this do? If it's a potion, drop it off. Otherwise, it's a crop. Okay, so will accept item needs to change. If it's a potion, return false. And this is if it's a potion or return if it's food. Okay, that's already written perfectly. So if it's not food and it's not a potion, then we're good. Yeah, this stuff all looks fine. I don't think there are any problems here. Any other things that we have? No, that's it. Okay, so those are all good. Extractor, how does this look? If it's not a potion, say it's invalid. What else? If it is a potion, if it is a potion. Okay, so those are all fine. All right, where do our search results go? Here it is. Okay, close everything else. That way I don't lose those search results. Item category, that's fine. Item category is not equal to the item category, that's fine. Shop. Yep, same thing, that's totally fine. What's that? Item category is not equal to potion. This is for a shop, this doesn't matter. And what about this? Should allow closing. Yep, that's fine. This is probably okay. Yeah. That's what we just coded. All right. I'm making sure there aren't any bugs in any of the existing codes because we might have, I guess we have added an item category since we made the game originally. It was originally just potion, weapon, armor, but then we added crops. And when we added crops, we probably already needed to do this work. So that's why we haven't probably found anything we need to modify yet, because we've already done this once. And we're gonna have to do it again in the next like few days with treasure chests. So it's at least worthwhile to look through this now. All right, so this is fine. What else? This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Yep. All of it's good. Okay, sounds good. So that's all finished. Key storage we just wrote, so I can't imagine that's wrong. Same thing with this. Can't imagine that's wrong. Send to shop looks good. That's fine. That's interesting. Shop is null, transition, and a worker wander. This should never happen, right? Okay, once they're holding keys, we're gonna have a problem. Yeah, so I'll just write major work items. Get workers to bring keys to chests. Need to look through all of their states to make sure we don't just assume that what they're holding is a sellable / cookable item. So far, so good. Consider buying. All right, how do you consider buying things? You look at a shop and you see what the chance of choosing that shop is. That's fine. This is fine. What's this? Shop data. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Sounds good. Signs for this stuff. This should all be fine. Farm tip. Okay, but we're down to just this amount of search results. Not too bad. And this we don't even need. Need shop tip. What is that? That's when you find a particular kind of item. If it's armor, get that. If it's weapon, get that. Otherwise, throw an exception. But these are all manually constructed with either armor or weapon. Yes, good. Cool. Perfect. I'm fine with that. And this is the last thing we need to look at, which is the farm tip. What is this doing here? Is this copy pasted? I don't think this is even needed. As armor shop. Oh, wow. I didn't know this was a thing. This tip is about building the farm, but we don't want to show the tip immediately after you got enough money, since that'll probably happen as soon as you beat the boss that unlocks the farm. Instead, we wait for you to have built something else before telling you that the farm is important. Is this even working? Do people do this? You have enough money to build the farm, which allows you to grow crops that can level up your adventures. I didn't even remember this was the thing. I don't know if I've seen someone encounter this. And it looks like it should be working. And this is totally unrelated to what we're doing right now, but let's go test it out. Yeah, seeing the item stack makes me happy. Yeah, same. And also being able to turn that into a warehouse is pretty nice. We do need to probably change the arrangement of it, but that's something we'll figure out later. Change the arrangement of item displays in the key storage. This is the kind of thing we should test with playtesters before polishing, just to make sure everything feels good. All right, so here's what we're going to try. We're going to get to the point where we can build this stuff. So unlock that, go there, click that, beat this thing. All right, so now we're going to get a tip about you just beat the ogre. Right? Why is it not popping up? Why is it not popping up? Oh, there it is. Okay, so now what tips are going to show up? If I speed this up, what happens? It should say something about the town hall, I think. Yeah, there it is. So there's the town hall. Then what else should it say? I think that might be it for now. So it's not telling me about the farm, but if I build the armor shop, it should tell me about the farm. That's how I'm to understand that code. Sandwich beckons me. What kind of sandwich do you have to share before you leave? And yeah, I hope you enjoy. And thanks for dropping in, Leftist. Thanks for memeing around. Hope the rest of your chaotic day goes well. Yeah, you have enough money to build the farm, which allows you to grow crops that can level up your adventures. Yeah, okay, so this is kind of a fail-safe if you built the armor or the armor shop and then didn't realize you could build the farm. So yeah, that's working. And that brings us to the final part of our search. So we went through all 300 results. Kind of. So this should be good. So now we have the to-do items that we added, but we don't even have a weapon grinder yet. So maybe we just don't check this in. Maybe we just check in the key storage stuff. Also, I should probably lower that a bit, right? Town key storage. Set it to like 20, 10, 0. I don't know. This is not final. I just want it to be visible. It's hidden behind a tree right now. Well, it's still hidden behind trees, but at least you can see all the individual displays. What happens if you try putting keys there? Yeah, you can't see the key. Okay, so maybe we should bump this down another like 20 pixels. Hey, Appleseed. Happy Thursday. It feels like Friday because I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. So I have it in my mind that the next day is a weekend day. Yeah, okay. This is good enough for right now. This is not where these things should go, but at least they're visible. And you can see a key even when it's there. It's a little bit obscured, but whatever. The way I envisioned this was that they'd go in this little square here. And I need to rearrange stuff. I need to figure out the weapon grinder. Also, all of these need to be accessible too. Maybe making this a square is not as good as just extending the back of the shop by, a couple of tiles or something. Excuse me. Yeah, I kind of like that idea better. So I'm not gonna take the time to mock this up well. Let's mock this up poorly. So what I'm thinking is this thing moves to right here, and then the item displays are arranged just to the side of this, and they hold the keys, and that's it. So you have the weapon grinder on the left side, you have the item displays on the right side. I think that's the most sensible layout. All right, but yeah, let's get ready to check this in. So key storage as a scene. This is what, a tile map? It's probably a tile map. Well, I guess we could see by looking at what it's part of. What is it part of? It's a tile set atlas source. This uses an external resource, but oh, it doesn't. It doesn't use a saved one. I should probably do something about that. Also, because the ground doesn't even show. What am I doing? Yeah, why don't we show the ground for this? We have a whole bunch of stuff coded for the ground and it just doesn't even show up. Oh, does it maybe look slightly better? Nah, it looks pretty bad. All right, let's just hide it again. Whatever. Yeah, I don't care for right now. All right, well, that's fine. Next up is this. This is the weapon grinder scene. We're not going to check that in. Then key storage. Okay, so key storage is going to be checked in. Scene paths is going to be checked in. All item data. You now get keys. I haven't looked at. I'm guessing it says the to-do thing, and I'm just not reading it. Yeah, to-do, fill this in later. And if we feed it to a slime, it should offer us a very small amount of gold. And even if we waited forever for the slime to be at max hunger, I have no way of speeding this up beyond 8 times. So we just have to wait. There we go. So now if I try feeding the key, oh, it offers 2 gold. Oh, right, because the top thing is more than 100% of the value of the item. That's fine. As long as you're not trying to make money off of keys. And 2 gold is nothing. So value is set pretty low. Display name is set fine. The key itself is fine. Yeah, I think this is okay for now. All right, tackle to do items. This includes the one in the key. How do I say this? In item ID.key. Description. Good. So we are going to check into do items now. I generally hate doing that, but we're in a separate branch. Yep, key is a type of item. Key is a specific... Ooh, actually. We probably don't want this to just be key. I'm going to write that down too. Change item ID.key to be something more specific. Maybe yellow key. Should I just do that now? Is it a yellow key? Yes. Or gold key. I'll just say yellow key. I think it's fine. All right, so rename this to be yellow key. And that's it. So let's delete that. Storeroom. Storeroom changed slightly. Not in a super significant way. Part of this should have been done already. Yeah, this is good. Town changed slightly. We don't want this here. Or maybe we do for now. I'll just say to do remove debug code. Yeah, otherwise, how am I going to test this stuff? I don't want to add that in every time. And I also don't like not staging these hunks and then just staging the other ones. They still call them hunks, right? They call them ranges. Okay, I'll call it ranges then. I never liked using the word hunk for this. Hey, Hebe. Make Slime King devour the closest visitor on full hunger. You get infinite money. Hey, Hotel Soap. Hey, Suyash. Are you starting fires tomorrow? No, I don't do fireworks. The closest I've done to something you could consider a firework is a sparkler, and I think the last time I lit a sparkler was like 8 years ago or something. All right, this is good. So this first bit of code is fine. This bit of code is debug, which is technically not fine, but we're going to keep it anyway. This is fine. Do we do anything here with weapon grinders? No. We also don't save anything. This should not be checked in. Let's check in that. Uh-oh. What happened? This didn't save? What did I do wrong? This shouldn't be a thing. Oh, God. Come on. think I just forgot to hit save on that. So I click this and then I save and then I click the plus. There we go. All right, so none of the weapon grinder stuff. The warehouse changed slightly. That's fine. Key storage is brand new. There should be no to-do items in here. Oh, you know what? Saving this is probably not that hard. Maybe we should just do that right now. No. Let's save saving for later. Save the key storage. It should be dead simple. It's going to involve us bumping the version number of the save file. Will it? No, it won't. We need signs and stuff. I'll do that later. Add a signpost for key storage. It should probably be based on having the treasure room. However, for debug builds, we should do what we did with the pond/farm. Building the pond builds the farm for you. Man, I'm always torn when it comes to just like straight up coding tasks. Because it does involve more brain power than some of the other stuff I've been doing in the last week. At least this is like foundational stuff for the next month. And the way I'm torn is that, like, should I stream this stuff? And I know what everyone here will say. All right, cool. So there's our key storage thing. So let's look through this one more time. This thing I don't care about. But the rest of this I think I do. So yeah, we have the scene path. That's okay. We added in one key. It's a yellow key. Doesn't have any function yet. We changed the storeroom slightly to make some things virtual, like the error message and the item category. We have debug code that when you press page up, it makes a key storage, which is here, and then adds keys. We have a way of fetching your key storage display so they get highlighted. We do not save anything yet. That's just a to-do item. And then the key storage itself is just a warehouse, basically. No, looks pretty good. Why not stream it to be more focused? Yeah, just to be more focused, I think. I'm not saying chat is interrupting or anything or sidetracking me, really. It's just I have to be on and saying what I'm doing and thinking about stuff out loud. But we'll see. I think this is a significant enough chunk of work that we're doing in the next week or two. And ideally, it doesn't take longer than that. But really, there are a lot of tasks. Although we made good progress already. We have, I mean, I know this doesn't fit yet, but we have key storage and we have keys. We'll need to make a treasure room and then allow it to hold treasure chests. Then you should be able to drag keys into the treasure chest. They should have a timer on them. They should expand into loot. You should be able to find treasure chests from battle. So it's like all those things. I'll write this stuff down. Add a treasure room. How do we do that? So when rolling loot drops, if the treasure room exists, we can roll for treasure. This means manifesting treasure chest drop rates in each instance. For now, it could just be a hard-coded like 5% chance to drop. Could be a hard-coded 100% chance to drop. What do I care? So once you have the treasure room, we need timers on the chest. Chests should have timers on them. When the timers hit 0, did we say you need to click the treasure chest to open it? When the chest is ready to be opened, you have to click it. Yeah. When the timers hit 0, highlight the chest to make it obvious that you can click it. Clicking it spawns loot and deletes the chest. Then keys. Make keys work when manually dragged to chests. Get workers to bring the keys to chests. Hey, Lady Stella. Without constantly rubber ducking, would you really be as effective? There are a lot of aspects that are really nice about streaming. The rubber ducking is part of it, and it is nice. And yes, there's an energy cost. And the other part is that I generally stay sane when I'm streaming. You haven't seen me go nuts yet. All right, let's check this in. Add key storage. I'm checking in several to-do items, which I generally don't like to do, but I don't want the commits to get too large. There's debug code here. Pressing page up will create the key storage. Hang on one sec, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry, that was my wife. She did not remember that I was streaming. All right, pressing page up will create the key storage, and pressing it again will create keys. The keys have no function yet. All right, get cost of next upgrade. Oh yeah, there's upgrades here, but the upgrades aren't actually being used. So I guess we gotta write that in the cleanup code. I didn't even think about that. If we don't allow for upgrading the key storage, then make sure we change some parameters of it to indicate the maximum number of items. Yeah. Cool. So commit that. Let's push our branch. Why are there 3 things? Oh, the UID file. Get stash. No local changes. How do you stash unstaged things? Unstage. Oh, include untracked. There we go. How do I? Whoops. Include untracked. Perfect. And that'll let me publish the branch. I know I could have done that from the command line, but it's just easier to do it from VS Code. All right, so now we're back to this. All right, so let's come up with the rest of the tasks that we have here. So to add the treasure room, add a signpost for this. Yeah, let me just write out the task. Add a signpost for this. Save that you built everything. Add treasure chests. I guess chests should have timers on them. When the timer at 0, get this. It means that they need a loot table. It means manifesting loot tables. What else? What else? What else? So you build the treasure room that allows you to find chests. Oh, that means that we need to make a new item category for chests. And then how do we do this? We've never had an item destination be something other than an item display. Oh, that on its own is going to be annoying, isn't it? Item display just has a special graphic. You could just change where this stuff goes, right? Yeah, that should be easy enough to do. The building has special item displays. Make a new scene, inherit from item display. That uses the enchanter tables and can only hold chests. So do that, make a new item category for chests. This is straightforward enough to do. I think we can make some pretty quick progress through this stuff. But for right now, I just want to write out what all the tasks are. So add treasure chests. Chests should have a timer on them. Timer's at 0. Highlight the chest with a crop shader. Clicking it spawns loot. This means manifesting loot tables when rolling loot drops. When rolling loot drops. When coming up with computing loot drops. How about which loot to drop? If the treasure room exists, we can roll for treasure. Yeah, from a battle. When a battle ends and we compute which loot to drop, if the treasure room exists, we can roll for treasure. This means manifesting treasure chest drop rates in each instance. It can be hard-coded. Make keys work when manually dragged, and then get workers to bring keys to chests. Is there anything else? And the anything else would come from here, I think. So let's take a look. Oh yeah, there needs to be an NPC in the treasure room. Add an NPC in the treasure room. They're going to look like a chest. They're going to eventually look like a sentient chest. But for now, just make a generic NPC. And make their dialogue, I guess. Now, we have done something kind of interesting with the monsters in this game. Normally, when you click something like this, you've got this like paperish background. But when you click a slime, it's got a special slime background. And you click the chef slime, it's got the special chef slime background. We could make this just a consistent thing in Skeleseller. Whenever you're talking to a creature, that they have a special panel for it. But yeah, most people only ever see that in the game once, or when they accidentally click this, when they mean to click this. You mean a mimic? Yeah, pretty much a mimic. The problem is I think mimics are generally seen as enemies and maybe, or I guess at least evil. And what else? And like they have treasure in them. And neither is really true of the thing that we're making. The thing we want is going to be friendly. And it's actually a slime secretly stuck inside a chest. But this is never explained or revealed. And it doesn't have items. It doesn't have items. It just knows how to talk to chest. So what's actually happening is this thing, which we're going to call the treasure spirit. The treasure spirit is asking treasure chests politely to open. And that's the mechanic behind this. Hey, Radalex. How long have you been working on the project? We started in April of last year. So it's been quite a long time at this point, about 15 months. And why C#? I've got a command for that there. Printed. All right, so what are we missing from this? So this is about battle map, battle map, battle map, battle map. That's all battle map stuff. This is just something for later. Crafting is pointless. That's for later. Repeating a map is battle map stuff. Let's put that up there. If you ever need to make space running in the town, yep, that's fine. Just, I guess, like, things to keep in mind for later. That way I don't keep parsing this again. Okay, we can show another cutscene. This is not technically part of this. So this is where we start getting the treasure chest stuff. So you hire a mimic in town. Their sentient treasure chest. Okay, so we have that written down. That's fine. They should have an exclamation mark on them. They should have an exclamation mark until you click them. We need to save that. That should all be pretty apparent. Oh, a perks board. I forgot about that. Oh, God. Should be a perks board. Oh, we got to code perks then at some point. Code perks. And modify art requests to ask for icons for any of those perks. Maybe hold off on this until we know that the perks are good. I should definitely message about the message Quickie Joe about the treasure spirit. Chest slots. Well, we have 4 of them. Did I write that down? Building has, yeah, 4 special item displays. You can find treasure chests. Maybe one of the first battles in Hardmode should be forced to drop it. Chests have a timer indicating this. Times need to show above it. Chest result in some amount of loot. Make sure customers don't desire chests. Okay, yeah, that's important. Make sure customers don't desire treasure chests. That's actually technically this here. Yeah, perfect. I'll just copy this over. Also perfect. Chest drop like any other item. They'll try going to the warehouse first, then they'll drop on the ground. Oh yeah, workers move them at a lower speed. Or some nominal-ish value. Make workers move chests. They should walk at a slower speed when this happens. Make sure that's all fine. Chests are all distinct items with their own loot tables. And then there are perks. And then there's a weapon grinder. Weapon grinder goes in the back of the shop. So we got to get the weapon grinder to work. I don't think I even wrote that down. Yeah, but that's only to get keys. Make the weapon grinder work. And then set all of this up for playtesting. Maybe share a save file or something that makes it easier to get to this point. By the time we're done with this code, playtesting will be available. Want to change Swift shoes. Grinder has a lever to control it. Becomes a quick move destination for, yeah. Make sure the lever works. Make sure the grinder is a quick move destination just for weapons. Keys are discrete items. We have a bunch of graphics. Oh yeah, differentiate, code all the keys. Code all of the different keys. There should be 4 types. We have 6 graphics. We have these. There are 6 of them. So if we wanted to come up with different ones, we could. They all are unique shapes as well, although the last 2 are pretty similar and they just look like palette swaps, but they're not exactly the same. But they're, like I said, very similar. So might as well be the same. I don't have an idea for the other 2 keys. So yeah, I only have 4. The skeleton key will just immediately open a chest. So that one kind of wrote itself. And then the other ones will just be just different effects that I have written down. You have a suggestion for a new grad looking for a job? Like I talked to one of the people after completing a task to show my skills, but I don't know he gave me some excuse. When you say talk to one of the people, you mean like a hiring person? Because depending on where you live, if you're in the US, getting feedback is hard because jobs are like the CEO, yeah. Yeah, it's hard to build on this. When you're doing sort of any endeavor, I feel like there needs to be a feedback loop where you try something, you succeed or fail, and you ideally know why you succeeded or failed. This part is very important, like I said, for any endeavor. And it's just tough when you're applying for jobs. They don't necessarily want to tell you why you didn't get through. And this applies at every stage of the process too. So essentially, to accommodate this, you need to find other means of getting that feedback, which is basically like a resume. Oops, let me type that out correctly. Resume review, mock interviews. Asking for feedback is still good. It's good that you ask. It's just that's not always successful, I guess. What else here? And yeah, it's some amount of like, I guess it's pretty much just that stuff. Yeah, so I would say talk to your friends, talk to any like colleagues you have, ask them to look over your hiring materials, resume and portfolio. Mock interviews are super, super important. I think a lot of people put mock interviews to like way later in the process than they probably should. If you can find someone who's willing to ask you questions like it's an interview, either leak code or behavioral questions or system design, then doing that sort of in the middle of your process toward the end is good, because it'll force you to think in a different way that's more similar to interviews. And even asking your friends to do this stuff, you'll probably still be slightly nervous, and you'll probably be nervous in interviews. So you're getting used to those nerves sooner. And then your friend will give you very candid feedback. Like, hey, here's how you did. Oh, you didn't find the best algorithm for this. You talked about time complexity poorly, something like that. It's like he now wants to see whether they're ready for a remote. Also, hey, Checkinator, welcome back. But he told me he had a position. After completing, he said, if you want, we can schedule a call. I can go into the details. Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to that specific thing. Maybe this person found someone else for the job. Maybe they didn't want to hire someone. Maybe they ran out of money. Funding didn't come through. It could be anything. And they don't have to be honest with you, right? They could just say, sorry, that's our business. But yeah, I'd say that my advice would be look into making certain that you're prepared for these things. And the way you make sure you're prepared is by doing a lot of interviews and doing a lot of mock interviews and making sure that the materials that get you to the interview are also good. Unfortunately, you're in an AI inundation phase where hiring managers are getting hundreds or thousands of resumes. Hepta was in here the other day and said they posted a Salesforce position and they got 10,000 applicants. Like, there's just no company that will ever go manually through 10,000 applicants. They're not going to do that. It's just a shame. It's like, yeah, what do? You have 10,000 applicants. How do you stand out? You can only do so much. It's AI looking over your resumes probably. And I said, even with more realistic numbers, like let's say you're posting a job, and let's say it's something simple. Let's say you want someone to, I don't know what, do like landscaping or something. And let's say you got 100 applicants. How would you even go through 100 people? You're not going to interview 100 people. How do you tell that someone's resume is better than someone else's resume? How do you look at their past work? There's just a certain point where you can't really scale to it. If you got 2 applicants, you will almost certainly look at both applicants and see which one is better for the job. 10,000, no way. Just laid off 5 engineers. Oh man, was it performance? Was it cost? Was it AI saying, you should be 30% more productive? So we'll just cut the humans out and have you lean on AI more. All right, all keys work on all chests. Weapon grinder comes within the zone of locations. Can't be used, we'll put them back in the warehouse. Where do we put that? Yeah, if they can't find a destination, have them put the key in the warehouse. If there's no warehouse slot, I don't know what they should do. Yeah, if there's no warehouse slot, drop it on the ground. They could try to put it back in the key storage, I guess. Yeah, I guess just drop it on the ground. But then they'll just pick it up again, won't they? Just wait for a destination. Yeah, that's probably the best. All of the above, yeah. Yeah, things are changing. And I think it's a time right now, both of opportunity and of uncertainty. And the opportunity, if you look at how many AI-based startups there are quite a lot. And even things that, what was it called? Like Shapes. This was a Discord bot. It was pretty much just AI characters you could talk to. This is not like a new thing, but applying it to Discord was kind of new. And it got hundreds of thousands of users apparently. And now they're trying to make an app because of some Discord controversy I didn't fully follow. But like, that's one thing. It's not even a super novel application necessarily. I'm not denigrating the company. I'm just saying you don't really need to seek out too far to find these opportunities. So lots of opportunities. And then the uncertainty part is pretty obvious. A lot of companies are doing layoffs. Microsoft just laid off, like 900 people yesterday or something. M2 just talked about 5 engineers getting laid off. I mean, there are many similar stories. And I think it's difficult if you're looking for a job to hear those sorts of things and be like, man, I'd love for there to just be this just like, 500 opportunities for me in a set company and a whole bunch of startups I can make. And it's challenging. So keys stack. We need to make sure that keys are only used one at a time. Modify or like accommodate item stacking. Keys will only be used one at a time. We need to make tooltips on the chest. Make tooltips on the chest. Keys do not trigger the quick move menu. Not since there could be multiple destinations. All right, balance. All right, start this out pretty slowly. Let's worry about that later. Chest is ready to be open. You have to click it. Chest should only drop a small number of distinct items. Where do we have that? Spawns a loot. C. I'll just put a bookmark here. Copy. See this for loot rules. And tasks. Loot filter, ignoring that, ignoring this. So this is just stuff for later. We'll just keep this in the stuff for later section. Where is that? Here it is. Things to keep in mind for later. Anything else? Quests. Town hall perks. Okay. Oh, 9,000. Okay, my bad. Yeah. 9,000 layoffs. Was it Microsoft that said they also want devs to use AI more? I think most major companies are saying that. But yes, I believe Microsoft is saying that too. And my personal opinion is I think it is a sensible decision. I think it's like, look, we as an industry have invested in this. And then these big companies, pretty much every one of them is also very heavily invested in it. So like if our developers aren't using it and seeing some benefit, we might fall behind the curve. And if it truly is a force multiplier and we fall behind that curve, it's going to be very hard to catch up. So my personal opinion is that it's a good decision that they're making. On the ground level, because I have a lot of friends who work at big tech companies, on the ground level, there's not a lot of guidance for this sometimes. So it's like, yeah, just be more productive, use AI. And people aren't really totally sure how or how to be effective with that yet. So it's a bit of a bit of a scramble right now. But I think people are learning as they're going. I think it's a productive thing. I'm trying to use it more at home to get more comfortable with it. It's a good tool and it helps, but I still fear that then I'm not going to learn the details at the same level I otherwise would. Also, since I was using it to build up the info for my home lab, some things Copilot failed pretty hard on. Yeah, about the first part, about not learning details, I think that's inherent to this. I think that's inherent to skipping any amount of something. Like even with, if you think about mental math, and not even difficult mental math, let's say you're just talking about basic like plus, minus, times, and divided by. You learned how to do these when you were very young. And now how many people, if I said like, I don't know, even something simple, like what if I say 12 times 15 or something, like off the top of your head, do you know what this is? If you had to compute it, can you compute it in your head quickly? It's like at some point in your life, you probably just knew what this was right off the bat. And again, this is not hard math. You can figure this out. You could write it out. You could use a calculator, but a calculator probably made it so that, yeah, we skip these steps in our head now and you have to think a little bit more. I think the same thing's going to happen with AI, and I don't necessarily think it's bad. But I think it's going to feel bad at first because where once you were exercising this by yourself, you are now leaving it to something else. And you're going to slowly notice that you're offloading more and more of your brain. And then what happens? So yeah, I'm interested in seeing how this pans out. This has been sort of the story of tech for humanity is we have some cool new thing. We have no idea what the repercussions are going to be for mental or physical health. And if you think about it, well, I'm not going to go too much deeper into that. Let's leave it at that. Slightly unnerving. Yeah, I can see that. How much of the creative spirit it takes out and how you mix the two properly. It could allow you to amplify the creative aspects more, though. Like, imagine if you don't have to do the boilerplate. Like, at some point, I'm going to need to, well, I guess we already have it. Let's say I go to skeleseller.com. Like, this site is a relatively basic site. It's got some graphics, it's got a video, it's got 2 buttons. That's it. This is the kind of thing that AI could probably have produced in like 10 minutes and done a pretty good job. There aren't going to be security errors because it's just a static site. There aren't going to be like major usability issues. It could probably do this in vanilla CSS and JavaScript and everything. And that would just let us be like, okay, now let's tweak it or let's add some animations or something. And then get to the stuff that we want to do. So I think in that sense, it can amplify creativity because it's cutting out mundane work for you. Hey, Tenchu, I can't trust AI when it gets basic stuff so wrong and fails entirely to admit it doesn't know something. Well, the admit part is, I think, applying some amount of humanity to it. It's just a large language model. So I think just like with a human who might be very junior on your team, you have to still validate what they're doing. So it all comes down to what do you trust them with? Do you trust them to just take the wheel and code an entire program for you? Probably not. But do you trust them to write a function and then you just validate that it works at the end of it? Like, yeah, maybe. So yeah, I think keeping in mind that it's a tool and that you should use it like it's a tool, I think is still worthwhile. We've collected up all the to-do items from here. I'm debating on what I want to do next. Weapon grinder, we need to change the stuff. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at this. There's a lot of other stuff I want to work on today that is not necessarily coding. I want to do more marketing. Started working on the treasure related stuff. Got keys and key storage into the game in a semi-rough state. So we spend like a solid day on this, like 8 hours on Monday. I think we can get the weapon grinder all done and the key storage and everything all connected and start working on treasure chest. I hesitate to say that we could get all of this done next week, but we need to make pretty good time on this. Yeah. All right. Well, I mentioned this before, but Tuesdays and Thursdays are really just meant to be streams to kickstart my day. And we've done that. It's been 2 hours and 25 minutes. My day has been kickstarted. So I think it's time to go find someone to raid. Let me see. Oh, hey, Clayman's online. Oh, Clayman's about to end. All right, let's raid Lana. Lana is a great streamer, and she has been working very diligently on her game. Is she playing a game? She's playing Call of Dragons? Is this... Oh, this is a paid thing. Okay, never mind. I do like Lana and Lana's stream, but if she's just playing Call of Dragons, I'll find someone else to raid for now. Thanks for the bits of play. Yeah, I appreciate it. All right, let's use the raid channel tool. And let's find somebody. Same category. English. All right, so we're looking for someone with low uptime, speaking English that I'm not already following. None of these people have low uptime or I'm already following them. Okay, this person. Low uptime. And yeah, I'm not following. All right, let's raid this person. The low uptime is just so they don't end their stream like immediately after I raid them. All right. Cool. Thank you all for being here. I will not be streaming tomorrow. It's the 4th of July. I want to take a day off, or at least like mostly off. So I'll be back on Monday. And then it's going to be mostly coding again. So thank you. Ty, if you want to ask on Discord, I can try to answer this, but otherwise I'm gonna get going for now. Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend. See ya.